level by preaching to alcohol addicts at a matatu stage in Kiambu. Our reporter Yusuf Farah with the story of hope.
Also in the program, easing regional trade, Horn of Africa adopts mutual agreements to eliminate repeat testing. Our business reporter will bring the details. A little later on, of course, also in sports, Cameroon crowned champions at the 2026 CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations after a convincing 3-0 win over Malawi. Dan Wendwa with the WAFCON finale. All that's coming up, but first, the highlights.
Tunaomba siasa ikuwe siasa ya amani. Hii siasa tumeona sio siasa inaweza peleka nchi mbele.
The cost of goonism.
1 person killed, 46 injured in Homa Bay rally chaos.
We want those who organized, financed, facilitated or incited the violence must equally be held accountable.
Violence has no place in a democracy.
Political leaders, clergy and journalists condemn goonism in political meetings.
Hallelujah!
Plus,
a second chance at life.
Open Air Church and Counseling Center offers hope to alcohol addicts in Kiambu County.
Many thanks indeed for joining us. I am Mboya.
I am Muchuma Irene. Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube. Our sign language expert tonight is Caroline Joroge.
On to our top story now. 1 person has died and at least 46 others injured following Sunday's Linda Mwananchi rally in Homa Bay, with 7 patients reported to be in critical condition.
The violence also left a trail of destruction, with several vehicles torched and a church attacked, as the full extent of the damage emerged after the team left the town.
This is the report that opens our coverage tonight.
The human cost of the chaos was felt most at the Homa Bay County Teaching and Referral Hospital, where 46 people were treated following the violence. Among those attended to was a police officer who sustained a head injury, while 4 people suffered gunshot wounds to their lower limbs. A woman died after she was reportedly struck by a speeding vehicle during the chaos. She was rushed to hospital but died shortly after being examined by a doctor.
Ni mbaya sana vile walitenda. Kuna wengine wagonjwa, wengine walipiga wako mchari, kuna wengine wako ward na hata madaktari pia kuna. Sasa ni shida tupu. Mali imepondwa, mali imechomwa, Homa Bay ni mbaya.
The violence also left property worth of unknown amount destroyed, with up to 6 vehicles set ablaze after their drivers reportedly lost control and were unable to move amid the chaos.
If this happened because of our local politicians, then it needs to, they are needed to restructure the way they do their politics.
Residents have condemned the violence, warning that such incidents could scare away investors.
Tunaomba siasa ikuwe siasa ya siasa. Tumeona sio siasa inaweza peleka nchi mbele ama inaweza peleka kaunti mbele. Hao watu wanagombana ni watu walikuwa pamoja.
Political leaders, clergy and media practitioners have condemned the rising cases of political goonism being witnessed as the country enters the electioneering period.
They have demanded action from security agencies in dealing with the political violence, warning that the trend could undermine Kenya's economic stability and social cohesion.
Here is that report.
As residents and businessmen in Homa Bay County and losses incurred during the melee that rocked the county during Sunday's Linda Mwananchi rally, political players have pointed an accusing finger at the national security organs for what they allege is abdication of duty, and the People's Renaissance Movement Party have demanded that the leadership of the Interior Ministry take responsibility for the mayhem.
We can't lose lives day in, day out on simple matters. I mean, I've often asked the question, if you come from Kiambu, for example, or you come from Muranga, and the UDA leaders came there to have a public rally, why should you interfere with them? They are not carrying away the residents of Muranga. They are leaving them behind. You can also come back and talk to them. So if Linda Mwananchi was going to Homa Bay to have a rally, they were not carrying away the residents of Homa Bay.
And therefore we must appeal beyond this country to our friends from across the globe. Please intervene now before the situation gets out of hand, because you can clearly see the direction this pattern of violence is heading towards.
The political class in Nyanza region has also condemned the Sunday's incident, insisting that the country has no room for political intolerance.
Tunasema ile kitendo ambayo ilitendeka hapa jana ni mbaya sana. Kuvamia mali ya watu, hata kuchoma hata magari ya watu ni mbaya sana juu ya siasa. Siasa ile Raila aliwacha ni siasa ambao ni watu wanakuwa huru na kusema ile ambao wanataka.
Hao watu wanagombana ni watu walikuwa pamoja, ni watu wa Raila. Wote wanatembea wakiita jina Raila. Na Raila hakuwa anafanya siasa ya kuuana.
I think it's enshrined in our constitution. Let's be people that are giving everybody a chance to be able to give their views to the people, and the people will make the decision.
In Kisumu, scribes, most of whom became victims of Sunday violence in Homa Bay, have demanded for the recovery of the equipment stolen during the chaotic rally.
We want also police to institute recovery of those equipment. Investigations must not stop at those who carried out the physical attacks. We want those who organized, financed, facilitated, or incited the violence must equally be held accountable.
This even as religious leaders from Kiambu County similarly raised concerns over what they describe as a worrying rise in political intolerance.
Mwananchi nataka kumuongeleshea na sana wanayudhi wetu wasije wakatumike vibaya kwa ajili ya kukosesa watu wale wengine amani. Siku ya leo utakula hiyo chenye ambacho utakapopewa diweze kufanya vile utakavyofanya, lakini kesho yake haujui.
Similar sentiments were made in Nakuru County, where a section of DCP aspirants called on Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja to apprehend the financiers of political violence.
Sisi tutapanga mikutano ya siasa. Kenya hii kikatiba tuko na haki ya kuongelesha kila mtu popote pale katika taifa la Kenya.
Kila chama imekaribishwa kuja piga siasa yako, iwe Jubilee, iwe UDA, iwe nini, lakini sisi kama wana DCP hatutakubali kukandamizwa na mtu mmoja ambaye anataka kuleta animosity ya katika community hapa Nakuru kwa sababu ya ubinafsi wake.
Gisho Kiwashira, Prime Edition.
Pressure continues to mount on security agencies to guarantee safety for women aspirants amidst political heat as the county gears up for the 2027 general poll.
Women lawmakers under the Women Parliamentary Association say the growing political tension is worrying and risks denying them a level playing field with their male counterparts in the election.
Now, the calls were made during a consultative forum bringing together female political aspirants and young people to chart the way forward in strengthening women's political participation.
Now, this Women in Politics story was compiled by Kamche Mensa.
With political temperatures steadily rising ahead of the 2020 and political aspirants assembled under the Kenya Women Parliamentary Association banner to strategize on expanding women's participation in the political space. The leaders calling on the Inspector Douglas Kanja and the security apparatus to guarantee women aspirants security and protection as a breakdown of law and order risks disadvantaging them.
Na jambo ambalo mimi linanitia hofu sana ni kwamba kumekuwa na misukosuko ya kisiasa, kumekuwa na violence ambayo sisi akina mama hatuwezani. Watu wakikimbia sisi wengi wanaogopa. Na ndio maana unaona hata wale ambao wanajitosa kwenye uwanja wa siasa wanakuwa wachache.
When a woman knows that stepping forward to seek office exposes her to intimidation, harassment or violence, we cannot tell her to simply be courageous.
The leaders pleaded for tolerance ahead of the elections, expressing concern over recent infiltration of political meetings by goons.
there's a lot of guns in the hands of thugs. And I'd want to call on the Inspector General and on CS Murkomen that they must up their game on security, especially as we enter the electoral process. And it must be non-partisan.
To further enhance their participation in politics, the lawmakers challenged political parties to stop applying lip service on the consideration of gender balance during nomination.
Bigger percentage, not less than 40, is given to women. Not really freely, but different women to be at least vetted within the different positions that they want to, but let political parties prioritize ensuring that we have women.
It's really unfortunate the space for women, it's still quite, nitasema bado imeshikiliwa kibabe na wanaume, but I'm sure we're going to emerge.
And I want to encourage all young people and women who are running for office. It is bare knuckles. If it is hard, be hard. If it is soft, be soft. Strategize. Have a position that you create influence. When you create influence, people will follow you.
One of Kenya's leading lights in women's political participation, People's Liberation Party leader Martha Karua, who shared her political journey, urged aspirants to rise above intimidation and insults and center their campaigns purely on issues.
Every elected person must be asked the tough questions. And you who wants the seat of that elected person, you must go saying, these are the things I will do. Enumerate how you will do better than the person who is not there. We are beyond insults. We are for issues.
Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.
On to political wrap now. Kenya Kwanza allied leaders are calling on Kenyans to embrace development-focused politics and national unity.
The leaders have drummed up support for President William Ruto's re-election, premising it on what they say is equitable distribution of development across the country.
Tilio Ishmael Marco reports.
Led by Energy and Petroleum Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi, the leaders call out a section of the political class whom they allege have developed a habit of disrespecting President William Ruto and his administration.
Mheshimiwa Rais Ruto, yeye kama marais wengine ambao wamekuwepo katika nchi, anastahili apewe heshima vile Aseka alisema.
Huyu Ruto ni bwana ya mtu. Huyu Ruto ni baba ya mtu. Huyu Ruto pia ako na familia ya, na huyu Ruto pia ako na marafiki kama huyu Aseka Mera. Ukimtusi Ruto na mimi sasa nitaanza kutusi.
Another section led by his aide Faruki Bey region to back his bid for a second term in office for what they said was a transformative 4 years of equitable development.
Nyinyi mnasema ni 2 term ama sio 2 term? Hebu nione 2 term.
This even as former cabinet secretary and TSP leader Mwangi Kiunjuri warned politicians abandoning the UDA after failing to deliver that they should not expect automatic acceptance in other political parties. Kiunjuri is urging political parties, particularly those in Mount Kenya region, to reject party hoppers pursuing political survival.
Hata kama watakaa kwa serikali na kazi yao inaonekana watashaguliwa tena. Na mimi niko na uhakika kazi yangu itanisimamia.
In the meantime, youth lobby group dubbed Vijana Naruto has stepped up its criticism on the opposition, accusing a section of its leaders of failing to uphold decorum when addressing the head of state.
Regardless of the political disagreement that may exist between any leader and the executive, there exists a basic standard of decorum expected of every elected leader when addressing the head of state.
Elsewhere, a section of Kikuyu elders in Kirinyaga County has rejected calls to split the vote-rich Mount Kenya region into east and west, saying the historical strength of the region has been anchored on unity. Tilio Marco for Prime Edition.
Well, we are on the jeep and I was pointing at it just to let my colleague know it's exactly 15 minutes past the top of the hour. Time for our first break here on Prime Edition. But coming up
on Health Watch, we have increased reported cases of cancer in the country, but a Nairobi Forum is looking at on how best we can handle this.
Faithfuls ordinarily go to church, but in Kiambu, there's a pastor who is taking church to the faithfuls. All that coming up after this short break. Stay with us.
Healthcare affects every Kenyan. But what does the future of healthcare in Kenya look like? Join us for the Kenya Health Summit and the Presidential Town Hall on Health, a national conversation bringing together leaders and citizens to take stock of the healthcare reforms made so far, examine what is working, confront the challenges that remain, and have the tough conversations needed to move healthcare in Kenya forward. Under the theme, Reforms Delivered, Health as a Right. Hear directly from His Excellency President Dr. William Ruto as key healthcare reforms take center stage in a special town hall conversation. This event will be live on KBC Channel 1 this Tuesday, 18th of August from 7:15 p.m. live from the KICC Nairobi.
Are you ready for the next big thing in tech? Well, we'll spotlight Kenya's brightest young minds, game-changing startups, and breakthrough technology that are shaping our future. From AI and robotics to sustainable futures, we bring you the stories behind the scenes. KBC Channel 1. Remember, tech starts here.
Welcome back to Prime Edition, our socials.
At KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. On to other developments.
All right. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has moved to the Court of Appeal to challenge the High Court decision that upheld his impeachment and removal from office.
Gachagua says the High Court erred in law by acknowledging violations of some of his constitutional rights while declining to overturn the Senate decision that removed him from office.
Here's that report.
In his petition, the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is asking the Appellate Court to declare the Senate's October 17, 2024 decision to remove him from office as Deputy President unconstitutional, void, and without legal effect. Gachagua is also seeking an amendment of the High Court judgment to include portions stated publicly during the delivery of the ruling and not incorporated into the written judgment. In his appeal, Gachagua argues that the High Court erred by finding that some of his constitutional rights were violated, yet ruling that the Senate's decision to remove him from office was not reversible. He further avers that portions of the ruling delivered in open court were omitted from the final written judgment. The former Deputy President is also challenging the public participation process conducted by the National Assembly and the Senate, arguing that it failed to meet constitutional requirements. Gachagua argues that the 50 million shillings awarded to him by the High Court for violation of his constitutional rights is inadequate to restore his dignity, uphold the Constitution, and deter future violations. He is further contesting the nomination and appointment of his successor, Professor Githure Kindiki. Michael Mondiga for Prime Edition.
Now, a local pastor in Kiambu County is taking Sunday sermons to a new level after converting a matatu stage into an open-air church and therapy center for persons who are battling alcohol addiction.
Now, Tom, every Sunday, Pastor Godfrey Kangondo preaches the Word of God, giving hope to a group of people seeking a new alcohol and drug-free path.
That's right. Our reporter, Yusuf Farah, is the one on that story.
Hallelujah. This is not your ordinary church service, and they are not your ordinary congregation either. The men and women recovering from alcohol addiction. Pastor Godfrey Kagundu, founder of Mephibosheth Counseling Center, decided that instead of waiting for congregants in the church, he will bring the church to them.
To the place of increase.
Every Sunday for the last 7 months, they gather at this Matatu Stage Camp Rehabilitation Center for spiritual guidance, encouragement and basic support alongside hot soup and bread. So what prompted the man of cloth to start this charitable initiative?
Vile walivyo, nafsi yangu na roho yangu inawapenda kwa njia ya kipekee. Tunajua ya kwamba sio kupenda kwao. Tunajua it's a sickness like any other.
Here they sing and dance, praise the Lord and offer one another's support. Individual recovery journeys. The high cost of rehabilitation, affordable alternative, and the results are visible.
Sasa kila wakati najaribu kujicontrol sana. Kama leo nimeamua niokoke. Leo nimeombewa na pastor na nikaokoka. Nikaona afadhali nikae na huyo Mungu. Maisha yangu yote nimebaki.
Pastor Kagundu is appealing to well-wishers to come on board and help set up to serve more people.
They need more. They need support. Wanahitaji wapendwe kwa sababu lazima upende mtu ili umshifikie.
As alcohol addiction continues to weigh down some families, this open-air prayer in county is proving that sometimes recovery begins with simply reaching out to those left behind. Isufar reporting for Prime Edition.
Onto a story we teased for you before we took a break. Kenya is stepping up efforts to tackle the growing cancer burden amid concerns of increased cancer cases in the country.
Nairobi has recorded the highest number of breast cancer cases at 2,150 among counties, as Kisumu positions itself as a regional hub for cancer care, with plans to establish a specialized cancer center.
Now, the push is bringing together county governments, international partners, health experts, and cancer survivors in a report compiled by Marie Yambo.
Kenya records more than 42,000 new cancer cases and over 27,000 deaths annually, highlighting the growing pressure on the health system. Breast cancer is a major concern among women, with 2,150 cases reported between 2020 and 2020. Prostate cancer remains the leading cancer among men.
We want screening to become routine. We want diagnosis to happen earlier. We want treatment to be accessible. And we want patients who enter our health systems to feel that there is a clear pathway of care, rather than having to navigate that journey alone.
In Kisumu, the Africa Smart Cities and Towns Alliance, Kisumu County Government, and the African Cancer Foundation are working to establish the Chonjong Nyong'o Cancer Center. The partners plan to invest about $1 million, approximately 130 million shillings, in laboratory at Victoria Hospital to support early screening, targeting up to 300,000 people across the Lake Victoria region.
We are investing about $1 million to open the lab by the end of this year at the Victoria Hospital to start with the early cancer screening programs. And number two, we are also planning to training local doctors, nurses, engineers. And number three, we are going to bring the donations from the Korea, Singapore, for example, in the United States. Very expensive, the CT scan, for example, like kind of these devices.
Kisumu County Governor Anyang' Nyong'o says stronger cancer services in the region will reduce the need for patients to travel long distances for specialized care.
We have, for example, Jaramogi teaching a referral hospital, which has been for a long time the only place you could go to in Kisumu if you had cancer. But even there, they didn't have all the equipment. So people ended up going abroad at a very costly price. So that going abroad for cancer treatment care is what we are trying to deal with.
For survivors like Kevin Mochiro, who has lived with multiple myeloma, a type of blood cancer, for 11 years, financial, emotional, and social impact of cancer is a stark reality.
Because this disease takes you through so many emotions. People forget that we are human. We still laugh. we still have joy, we still want to do we still have aspirations. So I think the attitude needs to change in how we treat patients. We need to see how we can bring down the cost of medication. And it's not just looking at early detection, but it's also looking at the care that we're giving patients.
As Nairobi and Kisumu counties strengthen, stakeholders say collaboration is essential to ensuring access to screening, treatment and long-term support regardless of where patients live or what they can afford. Maria Mo reporting for the Prime Edition.
Let's now take you to the corridors of justice. The High Court at Milimani, Nairobi, has summoned the Director of Witness Protection Agency to appear in court on Tuesday, August 18th, 2026, over delays in acting on a request to protect key witnesses in the disappearance of 3 men from Mathare.
Justice Alexander Muteti issued the summons during a habeas corpus hearing concerning Macmillan Kiare Mugo, Michael Lolo, Evans Otieno, who have been missing for about 2 months.
Details in the Scales of Justice segments.
The lawyer representing the families of Macmillan Kiare Mugo, Michael Olo and Evans Otieno told the court that a witness protection request was filed on Monday 20th July 2026 and formally served to the Witness Protection Agency on Tuesday 21st July 2026. According to the lawyer, the request is still under review despite follow-up visits to the agency's office.
I have had a look at the Witness Protection Act as well. Yes. In concurrence with also your orders. Mm-hmm. And your Lordship, my point of departure with them is that by dint of Section 16, this Honorable Court can order for protection of witnesses.
The protection sought is for 3 witnesses who allegedly saw Michael Lolo being arrested at a barber shop.
So in as much as we respect the agency in terms of their regulations and procedure under the Act, your Lordship, it is important for Kenyans to know what steps they have taken so far in regards to your orders that you issued and they are duly served, so that we can have a substantive way forward.
The court has now ordered the Witness Protection Agency Director to appear in court on August 18, 2026 to explain the delay.
The Director of Witness Protection Agency is hereby summoned to appear in person or through a duly appointed counsel before this court on 18th August 2026 at 10 a.m. and explain to the court the steps taken by the agency so far in implementing the orders issued by this court on 20th July 2026. Hearing adjourned to 18th August 2026 at 10 a.m. in open court.
Also in Kiambu County, detectives have been granted 7 more days to hold Sergeant Dennis Masomba Nyambane as investigations continue into the death of his wife, Mary Mwende Mutie. The court also ordered investigators to open a separate file concerning the welfare of the couple's 3-year-old child who is currently at a children's home. Senior Principal Magistrate Irene Godho Ruguru ordered the Nyambane be taken to Mathare National Teaching and Referral Hospital for mental assessment. Bruce Mayoyo for Prime Edition.
Now let's take you to the county's Narok. Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu has condemned the alleged killing of 3 people after police opened fire on residents who allegedly attempted to remove a suspect from a police cell in Sagamian area.
The governor cautioned residents against attempts to remove any suspect from lawful custody.
Well, details of these and other stories in our county news roundup.
While condemning the incident, Governor Ntutu described it as unfortunate, urging residents to follow the law whenever a person is arrested by police.
Ni hatia kubwa mwananchi kwenda kutoa mtu ambaye ameshikwa na askari. Hiyo shida ilitokea, askari wakaanza kufetua risasi kwa sababu hiyo wanajaribu kufanya ya kwamba watu watatoroka. Unfortunately, we have lost 3 people ambayo hatungepoteza kama wananchi tu wangefuata sheria. Naomba.
In Kilifi County, health officials have vowed to take action on lazy health staffs at Malindi Sub-County Hospital after an impromptu visit found patient complaining of poor services. This follows the ongoing doctors' industrial action that has affected many counties, with Kilifi resorting to contracted medical services.
Wakija hapa wanachelewa sana kupata majibu ya
wanapokuwa wamechukuliwa vipimo mbalimbali, na tumehakikisha kwamba tumeleta huduma hizo za maabara katika maeneo haya ambayo wagonjwa wanatibiwa na kurudi nyumbani.
Meanwhile, which has been in existence for over 60 years has finally been demolished after a long battle.
Tumefurahia sana, tumesumbuliwa kwa muda mrefu, almost a year tunavurugana kuhusu msikiti jengo isijengo. Development ni kitu poa, change hakuna kitu poa kama change. So sisi vijana tumefurahia, ndio maana tumeamkia hapa asubuhi saa 12:30 tulikuwa hapa tunangojea hii mashine kuje tuangushie.
In Embu County, police have seized and destroyed 1,340 liters of illicit brew operation targeting illegal alcohol production in Runyenjes constituency.
540 liters of mashore na 800 liters imekuwa destroyed kwa scene.
In Vihiga County, residents have been urged to apply for units at the Vihiga Affordable Housing Project, now 99% complete and expected to provide affordable housing to hundreds of residents.
Under the social class, there are those people who earns less than 20,000 per month. They qualify for a bed sitter, for 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom.
Finally, women and youth entrepreneurs operating within the agri-food value chains across Uasin Gishu and Trans Nzoia counties are leveraging newly acquired business skills to scale up their enterprises following a transformative capacity building initiative.
That investing within the agricultural sector has been key for our own economic growth. But also going beyond that, it's not just the investment in agriculture, it's the investment in women and young people.
Skiza, Mandy amenituma ni bring some sense into that head of yours.
Tupatane kotini.
Ameninyonga karibu aniue.
Halo ofisa. Naomba mfanye patrol area hii. Wacha nitajaribu kumtafuta Mandy nimpigie simu.
Umeogopa kurogwa?
Siku ngapi? 2. Shelo kakuja hapa kunichota.
Hii shamba la kanisa liko kwa jina lako binafsi.
Ndugu Muli hapa. Hata alikuwa amepitia.
Unazungumzia shamba yangu na huyu kwa nini? Why?
By the way, unajua si vigumu pia kupotea.
Mimi labda unipigie risasi Muli.
Unadhani ni huyu?
Alishaonja pesa ya wizi. Sawa, kuna pesa tamu kushinda hiyo.
Pia mimi ulinirecord.
Kwani unaonaje?
Kama ndio tabia, sasa nani atakutrust na information?
Unajua wewe na Muli ni kitu kimoja.
Are you ready?
Kumenuka. Ujajiingiza Yasin.
We always replace those who have left us.
Hivyo ndo nafanyaga rafiki.
To sacrifice a servant in order to save the queen.
Cheki. Dave, acha kuniongelesha kizungu mingi, sawa?
Jibu swali yangu Mark.
Unataka nini hapa?
Gentlemen, Sam has left us.
Marvin, hiyo hapana. Nimekataa.
Yasin, sit down.
I'm so sorry we got off.
I like this guy. I like this guy.
Hello and welcome. It's time for business with me, Alan Auko. Now, the Horn of Africa region could unlock more trade in agricultural products by adopting mutual recognition agreements to eliminate repeated testing and certification of goods moving across borders. Kennedy Anahinga, Director of Policy at State Department for Agriculture, says farmers often face challenges in accessing regional markets due to different standards, duplicated inspections, and limited information on cross-border trade requirements.
Trade within the East African community accounts for about 13% of total trade by EAC members. This is mainly due to preference of goods from other countries and non-tariff barriers such as duplication of testing and certification of products. To correct this, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, is rooting for adoption of mutual recognition agreements that would allow countries to recognize product tests and certificates issued by other member states, reducing delays, cutting costs, and making it easier for farmers to sell the Horn of Africa region.
In boardrooms, in conferences, in workshops, until the farmer is at the center, then we have done nothing. But all these MRS training we're talking about, then we need to go back and do capacity building of the person who's in charge of agriculture and livestock, and that's the farmer. So from us in the country, then we'll have to see then how do we design programs to bring the farm on board.
Officials say eliminating such non-tariff barriers would help reduce reliance on food imports by improving movement of agricultural goods from regions with surplus production to areas in demand.
We need to harmonize, we need to recognize that whatever is being produced in our countries are acceptable and safe to be used in another country.
MRA, it is a critical where the people coming together as a step where you're talking about assessment of MRA to a first step for implementation of FCFTA. This is a meeting, or this is a regional dialogue, bringing all the member states to learn from that and then to go for action.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, is holding the discussions focusing getting practical measures that will streamline trade and strengthen regional food security. Jacqueline Masharia for Prime Edition.
Elsewhere, Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi is accusing unnamed individuals hailing from outside Siaya County of funding demonstrations to incite the locals to reject establishment of a nuclear power plant at Lenya area of Bondo sub-county. Wandayi's remarks come after as part of demonstrations against the proposed 500 billion shillings nuclear power plant.
The proposed nuclear plant in Siaya is expected to generate 2,000 megawatts of electricity and form part of Kenya's long-term strategy to diversify its power sources and strengthen energy security. Government preparations are already underway, with detailed site studies completed for 9 potential nuclear plant sites in Siaya County.
Hii mradi ya nuclear maana sana. Hii ni nuclear power production. Na kwa bahati nzuri Mheshimiwa Rais na serikali yake mradi iletwe hapa Siaya County.
Defended the project, saying Kenya cannot afford to hold back development as the CS has also criticized opposition, claiming that some of those mobilizing against it are funded by outsiders.
Kwa chache na wanatumiwa na wengine pendi development ya hii eneo lazima.
Says the nuclear project will provide a reliable source of power while creating opportunities for local communities and businesses.
Kama wananchi wa eneo hili wa kaunti ya shukuru serikali kuu, na lazima tuwe kuhifadhi hiyo mradi ili itekelezwe haraka iwezekanavyo.
The proposed plant began in Siaya in July, with the government saying communities will remain central to the process. Ndotamo Kami for Prime Edition.
And the Kenya Tea Development Agency is aggressively expanding its tea market strategy to cushion farmers from declining global prices. KTDA National Chairperson Enos Njeru says they are pursuing new markets and strengthening value addition efforts as tea earnings come under pressure from recent price declines.
Kenya has been seeking to reduce reliance on traditional markets by increasing sales of special tea and processed tea. This is expected to increase earnings for the over 600,000 smallholder farmers who supply their green leaf to the Kenya Tea Development.
Generally, we have improved on the absorption, but
Price-wise, more so in the east of Rift, because of their premium product, prices have gone down.
The tea value chain has also been focusing on boosting tea quality and securing better prices for Kenyan tea in international markets.
We are hopeful that as we push to get more and better markets, prices will still be improved.
Njeru says KTDA was open and prepared to engage consultatively on genuine proposals on reforms in the tea value chains.
There may be different views on how the tea industry should be managed and reformed, and we are prepared to engage constructively on all genuine proposals that improve farmers' returns.
Ezekiel Owino reporting for Prime Edition.
Tunatambulika kwa tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, makazi na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu wale.
Tulikuwa hapa aka upcoming sponsor bila shaka ma deep state pia vile cartels
za pwani. Tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Kose kutegea 103.1 stesheni ambayo itakupa fursa wa pwani na kuleta wa Kenya pamoja.
Tafrija Kipwani.
Welcome back. We are glad you are still with us. Now, the once arid Galana-Kulalu Plains are the new frontier for commercial agriculture, with irrigation and renewable energy supporting year-round crop production. The transformation is part of a wider food security push aimed at turning thousands of acres of dry land into productive farms and reducing food imports.
Nyumba Agri-Products Limited is among investors at the Galana-Kulalu Food Security Project under a public-private partnership targeting the development of about 300,000 acres for irrigation and commercial farming. The company's operations rely on water infrastructure network that draws water from the Galana River and water harvesting, storing it in reservoirs and earth dams before distributing it across cultivated fields. Solar-powered irrigation systems help overcome the challenge of area with limited access to electricity. Diesel generators provide additional power when needed. Interrupted water supply for crop production throughout the year.
The backbone of every farming project. It's the key points when it comes to farming. For us having multiple reservoirs and we have access to the irrigation water in the center pivots, it enables us to have a crop throughout the year in terms of maize, onions, as I have said.
Kimathi says integration of renewable farming technology is helping unlock the potential of previously underutilized land while improving agricultural productivity.
Currently, we have 23 center pivots under cultivation, which is under irrigation. And we have 32 also. In total, we have 32 under pivot center pivots, 23 under cultivation, and in future we are planning to have 78 at the end of the year, which will be under irrigation and cultivation also.
Umradi ni mzuri juu maeneo haya wametegemea umradi na kila mmoja amefaulu ama amefaidi juu ya umradi. Mimi ningependa umradi uongezeke zaidi.
Maize, onions, cassava, soybeans and sisal are among the crops farmed here, even as investors step up value addition efforts.
Further afield now, Hungary's wine industry is facing a critical harvest threat as part of a broader heatwave crisis gripping European agriculture this summer, with experts anticipating the country's grape yield to fall by about 30% this year. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the globe.
Prolonged extreme heat and drought have pushed water levels to historic lows, threatening Hungary's grape yields. This comes as a summer of heat waves across Europe, and the UK has pulled the European Union and UK's total 2026 grain harvest down to 286.6 million tons, a drop of 23.4 million tons from last year. The losses to Europe's grain sector is estimated at around 2 billion euros. In Hungary, degraded soil moisture has left vine water stressed, and the harvest windows has shrunk, with picking now often starting as early as late August compared to mid to late October historically. Meanwhile, crude oil prices remained largely unchanged in early trade on Monday as a sharp drop in vessel movement through the Strait of Hormuz heightened concerns over supplies, while efforts to end the US-Iran conflict showed no sign of progress. The global benchmark Brent crude oil gained 0.42% to $88.89 per barrel, while WTI crude oil rose 0.21% to $82.57 a barrel. This slowdown comes after both benchmarks surged more than 5% last week. Trading activities through the crucial oil passage of the Strait of Hormuz came to a near halt over the weekend. Ship tracking data showed that only 5 commodity vessels crossed the strait on Saturday, while no such vessels were recorded on Sunday, compared with 31 crossing during the previous weekends. Iran and the United States have remained at odds over the talks to resolve the conflict. Finally, humanoid robots developed by the Zhejiang Humanoid Robot Innovation Center are now being deployed on production lines around the world. At a facility for Turkish home appliance maker Beko, the robots have been assigned as quality inspectors capable of opening refrigerator doors and scanning and inspecting their interiors. At this year's Hannover Messe Trade Fair in Germany, this center partnered with Schneider Electric to launch a wheel-armed humanoid robot capable of operating a pipette through sampling, analysis, and cleaning with a success rate of 99.99%. This center has also fulfilled an order from a global logistics company for bin transport and sorting between racks alongside products used in solution preparation for biopharmaceutical sector.
Well, that's it from the business desk with me, Alan Aoko. We take a short break now, but after that we have sports with Daniel Wahome. Thank you so much for watching.
Don't worry. You were great. Really.
Come on, let's play.
Okay.
I'll also play.
Then I quit. Then I quit.
What the heck is that? Talking about Yaya.
Oh.
Isn't she playing a game professionally?
What's going on with you and that CK Jin Yang?
What? What's going on?
Yesterday, the game of us three was leaked on the gaming farm. The whole 9 yards. Don't tell me you didn't see that.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome. Welcome to Prime Edition Sport. Cameroon were crowned champions of the 2026 CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations after a convincing 3-0 victory over tournament debutants Malawi in Rabat, Morocco. Algeria, who won the bronze, also won the Fair Play Award.
Down the right side as Eto'o once again trying to push herself away from a defender. Little bit of space, the ball comes right across, it's a header! Oh, it's gone off, the crossbar, it's gone in, and it has been scored. Cameroon get their goal. It is Nega Manga who offers Cameroon the lead. Corner coming in. It's there, oh, it's a goal, it's the second goal for Cameroon. Look at that for a strike. Top quality indeed. Picked up in their own half. They got an option here. There's Naomi Eto'o. Naomi Eto'o, the goalkeeper's coming back. She's gone past it. Eto'o trying to get the ball over. It's headed in. What a fabulous header that is. And they've scored a third goal. Sensational. That really is. You don't get better than that. Marian Gamanga scoring her second here in this final to make it 3-0 right at the end. Cameroon, champions of Africa.
And Malkia Strikers head coach Jeffrey Omondi is confident his charges will hit peak form as they seek to retain the CFVB African Nations Women's Volleyball Championship title on home soil. The 10-time African champions have stepped up preparations ahead of the Continental Showpiece set for the 23rd of August to the 5th of September at the Kasarani Indoor Arena and at the Ulinzi Sports Complex, with other visiting teams expected by Friday.
The coach says they have maintained their fitness levels since the conclusion of the Kenya Volleyball Federation National League and Kenya Cup, with the technical bench now focusing on tactical execution, serving, attacking and defensive transitions. He also assured Kenyan fans the team is ready to defend its crown, promising to improve on reception, blocking and back row defense. Malkia Strikers beat Egypt 3-0 in the 2023 final to reclaim their continental title and will be targeting a record-extending 11th championship. The tournament is expected to feature 16 countries and for the 2027 World Championships and the 2028 LA Olympic Games.
Kenya Police Bullets are set to start their campaign this weekend in the CAF Women's Champions League SECAFA qualifiers, which will be held from the 21st to the 31st of this month in Kigali, Rwanda. Police Bullets booked their ticket when they won their third consecutive FKEF Women's Premier League title last season. They reached the finals of the 2024 Champions League qualifying edition, where they lost to CB of Ethiopia in the finals, while last year they were beaten in the semi-finals by JKT Queens of Tanzania, who eventually won the title as Bullets finished third overall. The reigning champions will miss out in this year's edition, but the 2022 champions, Simba Queens, will be there to spice up the qualifiers, as well as last year's runners-up, Rayon Sport of Rwanda, and former champions, CBE. And English Premier League champions Arsenal lifted the 2026 Community Shield after thrashing FA Cup holders Manchester City by 3-0 in Cardiff. Mikel Arteta's side now turns their attention to the new English Premier League season, buoyed by another major triumph over one of their closest rivals.
Ricardo Calafiori scored Arsenal's opener in the 23rd seconds before Kai Havertz scored the second, forcing a 2-0 halftime lead.
Kelly, that's clever. Here's Calafiori! Odegaard's curling delivery towards Solis. Havertz! Yes!
In the second half, Martin Odegaard scored the third, assuring Arsenal the title. The emphatic victory hands Arsenal their second trophy in 4 months and their 18th Community Shield title overall.
And that's the sport for tonight. A lot building up this week. Remember, yes, the Diamond League is coming back. F1 is back. Kenya is hosting African volleyball, SECAFA Women's. So there's a lot to talk about. My name is Daniel Wahome. Thank you for being with us. And thank you for being with us during the WAFCON. Back to Tom and Irene.
Thank you, Daniel, for that sports update and for making sports feel very, very urgent. And of course, earlier on, we had Alan Awoka. I want to thank him for keeping business human. We've got to go now.
Before we go, thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. Quick acknowledgement, Peter Masita watching KBC Channel 1 from Kitale. Michael Oma watching from Nairobi, and this is reaction to a number of political stories that we have aired for you. We also have Sifuna Wafula saying you're watching KBC Channel 1 from Mboya. We do appreciate your feedback. The list could go on and on and on, Tom.
Until the break is done. But we want to thank you on behalf of the Prime Edition team. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Mboya. Good night.
I am Muchuma Irene. Good night. God bless you.
Are you ready?
Yeah, more than ready.
We always replace those who have left us.
Hivyo ndo unafanyaga rafiki zako?
Sometimes you have to sacrifice a servant in order to save the queen.
Cheki. Dave, acha kuniongelesha kizungu mingi, sawa?
Jibu swali yangu, Mark.
Unataka nini hapa?
Gentlemen, Sam has left us.
Marvin, hiyo hapana. Nimekataa.
Yasin, sit down.
I'm so sorry we got off on the wrong foot. Marvin, I like this guy. I like this guy.
Don't worry. You were great. Really.
Come on, let's play.
Okay.
I'll also play.
Then I quit.
Then I quit.